Hello, what is going on guys? Welcome back to the G Bros. Today is a complete guide to buy the new iPad Pros. So, let's get into it. Alright, first of all, the new iPad Pro 12.9 inch is way more expensive than the 11 inch model. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the 12.9 inch is bad. I'm just saying that if you're someone who's not gonna end up using it to the extreme, then I think the 11 inch model is a better option for you since it's so much cheaper. But that's in the case that you don't care that much about HDR contents and 1.9 inch smaller display. The new iPad Pros are powered by the M1 chip, which everyone knows how powerful they are. It's basically power of computer in a tablet. I don't think you can call it that anymore. Anyway, M1 chip comes with 16 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of RAM. But the question is, who would actually need 16 gigs of RAM on an iPad? I mean, the previous model A12Z Bionic with 6 gigs of RAM was still doing great, and it still does a great job in terms of iPad. So why this new M1 chip? Well, Apple is kind of planning to bring their power-hungry apps like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, and Xcode to the iPad, probably on their WWDC June event. And with the new Thunderbolt port, you'll be able to share your screen with up to 6K external display. So yeah, you can actually share your screen with Apple's $5,000 Pro Display XDR. And with the Power M1 chip, you can easily edit your 4K footage on your iPad. But I still think that majority will still go with Mac for those kind of work. So yeah, if you're wondering whether you need the 16 or 8 gigs of RAM, which even though if you want to get the 16 gigs of RAM, you'd still have to upgrade the storage to 1 terabyte. I'd say you wouldn't need that much of a RAM. It's way more than enough. But if you're someone who's gonna get the 1 terabyte of storage, then it's good to know that Apple actually put them as a bundle with the 16 gigs of RAM. And yeah, of course, you can actually upgrade your storage to 2 terabyte if you're ever gonna need, and you still get the 16 gigs of RAM as well. Alright, so a great step up by Apple on iPad Pro screen. I mean, mini LED technology is now on iPad. The new Liquid Retina XDR is a huge deal for most people. I mean, you could get true to life experience on an iPad screen. Have to mention though, it's only available with the 12.9 inch. But again, if you don't care that much about the display, then the 11 inch model still has a great display. And the same performance, it's also a better deal, so it seems a better option. But for those of you who actually care a lot about the display and that extra 1.9 inch, then the 12.9 inch is actually a very good option for you, since it increases the full screen brightness from 600 to 1000 nits and 1600 nits of peak brightness. Alright, let's talk about the 5G that Apple has been talking about it lately. I mean, after they brought it to the iPhone 12 lineups, they thought that why not on iPad, right? So here you go guys, now 5G is available on iPad cellular models. But the question is, who would actually need a cellular model of iPad? Well, I think most people don't actually need a cellular model of iPad, just like they don't actually need it on their Mac. Like they can easily hotspot their data from their phone and they don't have to deal with extra money for another SIM card. But for those of you who would actually need a cellular model, or everything that an iPad can do is enough for you, then the new iPad is gonna be your go-to device. I mean, you always have a great network and a device that can do what a computer can. For the storage, for whichever model you're actually going with, I suggest not to get the 128 gigs since the new iPads are gonna get filled up very easily, and the 256 is gonna be minimum, but 512 and above is gonna be ideal. You can now personalize your iPad Pros by adding engraving. Have it say your name, your initial, your favorite emojis. You can also say, I don't like Apple. And actually Apple would do that for you. But you know what, just have it in your mind. Later on that you want to sell it, it's going to be a little tougher for you since people have different tastes. By the way, Apple offers a special discount for college and university students. So make sure you actually take advantage of this offer while you can. Okay, now let's talk about the Apple Care Plus. Well, whoever has Apple products already know that Apple support is the best, and you wouldn't want to miss that. I know it's a little hard to pay it, but it's good to know that there is an option you can actually pay it monthly, and you have the option till the Apple supports the product itself, and you can actually cancel it anytime. Now let's talk about the new iPad Pro models. Well, they both come in two beautiful finishes, silver and space gray as usual. They both have the same Pro camera wide and ultra wide. Both support 4K recording up to 60 frames per second. The front facing camera, true depth camera on both models is 12 megapixel ultra wide angle f2.4 aperture compared to the 7 megapixel on the previous gen. And they both have an incredible sound system. In terms of weight, the 12.9 inch is half a pound heavier than the 11-inch model, and as I talked about the display, the 11-inch comes with liquid retina display compared to liquid retina XDR display on the 12.9 inch, which takes the full screen brightness to 1000 nits and 1600 nits of peak brightness. Alright guys, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye. Alright guys, that's it for now. Thanks for coming so far. If you have any question or concern, feel free to comment it down below. I'll answer them quickly. Oh, also there is a thumbs up button down below. You know what to do. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. It's cold.